Good afternoon, everyone. I am Paul from Ayre Ventures, and I'll be speaking about the wave of enterprise adoption that's underway on BSV Blockchain. First, a quick overview of who we are. Ayre Ventures is part of Ayre Group, led by entrepreneur and philanthropist Calvin Ayre, with a passion for BSV Blockchain due to its unmatched scalability and utility, as well as for other emerging tech, real estate, and publishing. We're very focused on utility blockchain reshaping the world, and we're helping to create this new reality. Here's a quick glance at some of the companies in our portfolio, a few of which happen to be the top consumer-facing businesses in the BSV community. And I'm not just saying that because some of the CEOs are in the room here somewhere. However, most of these investments by design are actually business or enterprise and government-facing businesses. That is to say, they're B2B or B2B2C. And in fact, as I said, there's now a wave happening of enterprise adoption on BSV Blockchain. And I'll walk you through why I think that's the case and why we at Ayre Ventures focus on BSV Blockchain. To cut right to it, why BSV Blockchain? Because frankly, it leads the pack. Now, many of you have probably heard a lot of these features already, so I'll be as quick as I can. It is the only public proof-of-work blockchain we're aware of that scales unboundedly. It's the ideal platform for micro and nano payments, including, importantly, IoT, Internet of Things, with ultra-low transaction costs that are on a constant decline. Its resilience has been proven time and time again, and importantly, it's also very eco-friendly. The best example I can come up with for you Londoners in the room is think of a district or a circle or a Piccadilly line train on a Sunday morning at 10 a.m., and now think of the same train at 5 p.m. today. The 5 p.m. train is going to be very packed, very busy, very uncomfortable, but also very efficient. And that's what a typical block is like on BSV Blockchain versus others. Last week, I think the biggest block had something like 3.7 million transactions in one block. A lot of blockchains don't have that kind of activity in a whole week. That's very efficient, of course, on an energy output per transaction basis. And that kind of activity is very common on BSV Blockchain. So unbounded scaling, ultra low costs, resilience. These are all key requirements for proper, true enterprise and government adoption of blockchain technology. BSV is also the only network that can serve as an enterprise-level data management and value system. What do we mean by that? That micro and nano payment capabilities enable new and easy ways to pay for data usage, providing tremendous utility for data, digital activities, and again, IoT. We believe integrating big data solutions with the internet will literally require BSV Blockchain. Soon enough, organizations will need BSV just to stay competitive. And because of these features, benefits, advantages that BSV Blockchain has, that's why we're seeing this kind of enterprise adoption underway. These are just some of the enterprises and their customers that are using BSV Blockchain already. I probably left off 20 or 30 because frankly I was running out of room. But these are the companies that have a leg up on their competition that are adopting true scalable Web3 technology against their competitors. I'll go through a few case studies, starting with nChain, one of the world's top blockchain tech and IP companies, trusted by more and more enterprise and government clients and partners to help them with that seamless transition from Web 2 to Web 3. We happen to also be an investor in nChain, which we're very happy with. Another example is a company called Oversea. Michael, are you here? No, okay, that's probably a good thing. The CEO of Oversea, Michael Elliott, will be on a panel a little bit later, and so you'll hear more about the company from him. This is another company we're an investor in. You may see a pattern here. Oversea is a property management software company delivering live operational risk data and analytics using machine learning and IoT to predict and prevent future incidents. They're going to further their lead in their industry by adopting BSV blockchain technology to address issues like scalability, single points of failure, timestamping, privacy, and reliability. And Michael will tell you more about that. Next, there's Mint Blue. Yes, another company we're an investor in. Some of you may have heard from Mint Blue a few times at this conference. They're a leading high-growth blockchain-as-a-service platform offering easy-to-implement immutable storage and identity authentication at scale. Their customers have been using BSV blockchain for quite some time, and I'm not sure they mentioned this yet, but some of their customers, including a particular name you might see on the screen, have put millions of transactions on BSV blockchain already, each one of those transactions with an actual invoice or other document embedded, represented as a digital twin. Now, a few months ago, Mint Blue did an interesting scaling test you might have heard about, putting over 50 million transactions on chain in a 24-hour period and incurred a whopping 400 euros in fees for those 50 million transactions. Now, why did they do this? Because they're seeing increasing demand from large enterprises, and they wanted to show them what can only be done with Mint Blue's technology and on BSV blockchain. Next example is the company that we're not an investor in yet, and that's a company called Rekord. founded by the chairman of Block Dojo, James Marchant. I guess he works on Rekord in his spare time, whenever that might be. As James says, Rekord is bridging the gap between blockchain, IoT, and robotics and manufacturing. They work with customers on industrial IoT data taken directly from customers' machines during the manufacturing process. Now, they too did an interesting scaling test a few months ago. You may or may not have heard about it because they're kind of in stealth mode a little bit. You know, they tweet a few things here and there, but in general, they keep things kind of quiet for now. However, they made a big bang here, putting almost 24 million transactions on chain in a 24-hour period, and that came from a 3D printing machine customer who just had 6 machines recording their production of whatever the items are that, again, are currently confidential. 24 million transactions in a 24-hour period, and it cost them $473.14. Don't forget the 14 cents. So these are just a few case studies of the enterprise-focusing businesses that are using BSV Blockchain. So in summary, why BSV? Because BSV demonstrates economics at work. And here's what I mean by that. We're all familiar with the sort of general rules or laws, if you will, of economics, of business, of capitalism out there in the world. The more something scales, the lower it tends to cost on a per unit basis. That's kind of how it works. Now, other blockchains would have you believe, oh, that's not how it works in blockchain. No, no, no. If you want to use our blockchain, it's going to cost you a lot. Oh, you want to use our blockchain for a lot of stuff? Oh, it's really going to cost you. The cost just went up. No, that's actually not how it works. And BSV demonstrates that the laws of economics and business and capitalism also apply in the blockchain world, as you can see here, with an ever-declining transaction price on a per unit basis. This makes it even more advantageous for enterprises and governments to finally adopt blockchain technology at long last. Just how low are those fees? Well, a few months ago, for Mint Blue and Rekord scaling tests, they were 5 zeros, then an 8, 0.000008 cents per transaction. Now, as many of you may know, with a public proof of work blockchain, this information is publicly available to a degree. You can go see for yourselves on any BSV Blockchain Explorer today that, in fact, the largest daily users of BSV Blockchain currently, especially big enterprises, are now paying 0.000001 cent per transaction. That's a steep decline in just a few months. Hey, look at that. Scale and economics applies in the blockchain world. Who'd have thunk it? So I'll also point out that all these benefits and advantages that BSV Blockchain has led to this spike in daily transaction activity that started about 18 months ago, and we haven't looked back. We've gone from a small slice of the pie to a bigger slice, to Pac-Man, as everyone talks about, to some days the whole damn pie. Now, it's not the whole pie every day yet, but you can quickly see when all these enterprises we've been talking about are at fuller scale, as are all the consumer-facing businesses on BSV, the wallets, the games, the NFT platforms. We will be the whole pie every day. Why? Because the other blockchains cannot scale. And why they can't scale, do you know why that is? They don't have the protocol, they don't have the technology. That's all there is to it. Let me now talk about some of the growth going on in the investment community around BSV Blockchain. 3 I want to highlight. Block Dojo that I mentioned briefly, that some of you may be familiar with. They're a fast-growing, London-based, BSV-focused incubator that's soon expanding to the Philippines as well. They've helped launch 40 companies already, with 60 investors, 60, participating in those 40 companies' financings. That's a lot of new investors at the table. Then there's nChain, which under new group CEO Kristen Auger-Hansen has also started to selectively invest, put their capital into certain companies. They also happen to own 51% of the Block Dojo themselves, but I think they've announced something like 10 or so investments into companies that are utilizing BSV Blockchain. Lastly, and I don't know if this press release has come out yet, I've lost track, so if not, I guess I'm the press release. Ayre Ventures is pleased to announce that we're invested in Singular Capital, the latest seed stage VC joining the fray, who are targeting high growth sectors enabled by AI, blockchain, IoT, et cetera. And of course, they'll be using BSV Blockchain. I'm gonna skip this because I've already talked about these points. I wanna quickly talk about Ayre Ventures investment themes, what we look for in investments. As you can tell by now, we're all about data. Data integrity, transparency, empowerment, and monetization. We're looking for ways to help modernize these massive industries. I guess put another way, we're looking for the technology, the software, the platforms, the systems to help legacy companies, Web 2 companies, transition into real Web 3 companies. No disrespect to all the other blockchains and protocols and whatnot that believe they're doing Web 3 technology. Okay. Lastly, like any VC worth their salt, we're still highly selective, and we favor companies with what we believe is, for us, a complete package. And that is business models that scale with things like recurring revenue, high margins, low costs. We prefer to see management teams with successful track records, having built and exited growth companies in the past. We like to see that this new venture is already in growth stage with strong revenue growth and a team that's in place, or at least that the building is well underway, at least in beta, customers are using it, et cetera. So I'll stop there. Thank you very much. Let's go be positively disruptive together with BSV Blockchain. Here's how you can reach us. Thank you.